Hey YouTube, welcome to another episode of my series of tips and tricks for Fall Guys, different maps. I'm going through every single map of the entire game and giving you tips and tricks on how I'm up to 115. I think it's 115 wins so far on the game. So I guess this is episode number 5, I believe. And today we're looking at Gate Crash. All right, so I'm going to go through the entire gameplay first just to give you an idea of what's going on in the map itself. There are a couple of tricks on each one of the set of gates that can help you get through a little bit quicker, a little bit faster. So there's the entire course, and we're going to look over where we go. Again, going through the entire thing all the way through, one in and of itself. So at the start off here, the left gate always goes up, and so I always run to the left gate if I'm on the left side. The right side, I will get into hints and tricks on the right side. But what really happens with most of this is I want to try and time when the gate is up. I want to run toward that gate is what I mostly kind of think about. Again, certain gates have different mechanics that you want to do instead of other gates, if that makes sense. I mean, again, we're going to go through every single one, but most of the time what you want to do is try and time the up gate while you're running toward it so that it comes down and then you can cross without losing momentum. It's a very, very, very quick map. As you can see there, it's already qualified. It took about, 30 seconds or something like that. And so it gets very fast, and if you miss that last jump with the slime, probably not going to happen as far as qualifying. So let's run it back right quick and go back through the entire thing and do a little bit of stop process so that you can actually get a feel for what you're actually doing here. So starting off, when we get into this section with everybody starting at the beginning, what you're looking at is a 3-gate section that's in front of you, and all of the time, this is how the gates start once it starts off. That left gate always goes up. It always goes up immediately. So if you were anything from the middle of the entire pack to the left side of the pack, you can run at this gate and it will be an easy way to get through. That gate stays down for a very long time. It cycles through each gate individually, and you have time on the left side to run to it and just be able to run over it without having to worry about a jump or a dive or any of that sort of stuff. If you are on the right side of the big group of people, that gate comes up second. It takes a little bit of time for it to come down. So right side, I believe, is what you don't want to touch at all. Touching the right side would be very detrimental. But if you are in the back 2 rows, like the very, very back 2 rows, that gate might be the option for you just due to the fact that it will come down at a right time. I think I would need to replay this maybe 1 or 2 more times to really analyze how that gate goes. But most of the time, almost 98% of the time, I'm running to that left gate because that left gate goes up and then it comes down and then it's completely open. But like I said, if you are in the back right of the grouping, then you probably want to go. I want to say you want to go to the right gate because it will go up and come down. It might take a couple of seconds. That middle gate takes a long time to come up, but only if you're in the front 2 rows would you actually be able to make it through that gate. And even with that, I think you'd have to be in the middle of the map to be able to actually make it to that gate before it started coming up. I feel like a lot of people get trapped on that middle gate because it unsuspectingly comes up when everybody thinks that it's going to stop. So my recommendation for anybody who's novice or beginning this entire game was take this left gate. It stays down for a very, very, very long time. You can time the middle gate if you're really quick and up at the front of the pack. And then the right gate, you can wait for the right gate to come all the way back down. But you want to try and get through with as full momentum as possible. So continuing on here, we get through this pretty quickly, just due to the fact that left gate is down. And so now we come across this next set of gates. And this is going to be a recurring factor for every single set of gates. Whenever you're running up to the gate, when you're about halfway between the previous gate and the gate that is coming up, you want to run to the gate that is already up. I'm going to say gate about 1,000,000 times this video, so get ready. So as you move through the gate, as you move through the set of gates, and you're running toward the center between the 2 sets of gates, kind of where I'm at right now, if I've stopped it correctly. When you get to halfway, you want to aim for the gate that is already up, because that gate will be dropping as you get to it, and you'll be able to jump, dive, or jump, or just run through said gate individually. It is beneficial, I would say, that you jump through every single time that you're trying to get through, whether or not the gate is coming up or down. I feel like it is beneficial that you try to jump over the gate, just because if the gate starts coming up, the slightest upward trend of the gate will stop you if you are running and you're just running straight. But if you're jumping through it, the slightest uptick from the gate coming up will not stop you as you jump over it. So I would say you want to jump dive through each one of the gates just to give you a little bit of a boost in case that gate decides to abruptly come up and try to stop you. But like I said, halfway through, you want to go to the gate that is actually up and not down. That will give you the option to actually be able to get through that certain gate. The timing of the kebabs, you have to be really careful. So getting through that next gate is pretty much the same thing. Look for the one that's up, wait for it to go down, then run through it. Coming up on the split here, it splits into 2 sets of 4x4s that are really, really small. After playing this for a long time, the middle gates are about twice as fast as the outer gates. So no matter what time it is, no matter when you get to these gates, aim for the middle 2 gates. I'll say that again. Aim for the middle 2 gates. I don't care if you're on the right or the left side, always the middle 2. The middle 2 go much faster than the outside gate. If you do happen to get bumped or moved to the outside gate, there is one drop that is pretty quick, and then I think there's 2 drops in the middle gate before the outside gate will drop. So don't wait on the outside gate unless it's just perfect timing. By the time that most people get here running straight through the course, the next set of gates will all 4 gates will drop at the same time, but these middle gates move much, much faster. So I want you to go through the middle gates no matter what. Aim for those, go to those. It will be the most beneficial for you. If you happen to get bumped to the outside, like I said, timing, there might be a drop that allows you to get through, but most of the time it's going to take way too long and you're going to watch that middle gate go 3 or 4 times. So aim for those middle gates. If at any point during this entire excursion you get into a gate and it comes up and stops you, don't backtrack. Do not backtrack and go to another gate. Try to run through the gate. The only time that I think that would be an exception would be this 4-set gate where you're on the outside gate and you need to go to the inside gate. But that's the only exception to that rule. So we'll keep going through. And I'll give a little recap once we're done with this run through. So go through these middle gates, make sure that you aim for them, go through them. And then when you come up to this one that's alternating really fast, I want you to run into the door and keep running into the door. Pick one. It doesn't really matter. It's really hard to time any of them. I would just try to move away from the donut blaster, the donut kebab. If you can get past the donut kebab and then just run into a door, just keep running into that door no matter when it actually opens or closes. I'm lucky enough to actually get through at the correct time. And I start on the slime climb. So when we're on the slime climb, the slime fall. So the slime slide that we're going to, when you're at the very top of this slime slide, take note of where the doors are. If the door is completely up, that is the one that you want to go for. If the door is not completely up, you want to try and use a backtrack system, which I will actually show you in this slime fall right here. But you want to try and pull back to wait for that door to kind of start falling. When it starts falling, you want to go full floor it, full push into it. And then there's a little white line at the bottom. You want to try and jump off that white line and use a dive feature to get across the plank. If you just jump, only thing you do is jump, you will probably, you could, if you were going full force to get enough momentum, but you probably aren't going to get enough momentum. So it's just safer to make sure that you jump, then dive in the air, to get across the area here. And so, like I said, the door was not completely up that I was looking at as far as it was coming up, but it wasn't fully up. So I pulled back on the stick to give myself a little bit of time. As the door went fully up and started coming down, I turned around and started full-fledging, jump from the white line, and then get across at the top to be able to get there. Now, it is rough at different times to actually play that part out due to the fact that there's like I said, there's a timing mechanic there that gets a little bit difficult to actually master. And if you slow down too much, you can actually not make that jump at all. So you got to be very, very careful with it. I believe that when I did the jump on the slime, I only jumped. I didn't do a dive, which, failure on my part. I should have dove. It just is a safer bet. But me being me, I just did what I did and qualified. But anyway, I'm hoping that can help you out a little bit. So let's go over a little bit of the overview here. When you first start out, I want to say this right quick. Overarching tendencies on this entire map. You want to run through gates, and even if gates stop you, you want to keep running through. You never want to backtrack on any of the gate sets. I think that's a detriment. But timing the gates is probably the best and easiest way to qualify. As far as when a gate is up, you focus on that gate, you run to that gate, and then when it starts dropping, you should be able to get through. At every gate set, you want to try and jump over said gate. Because like I said, if you ever come up to a gate that is down and you think you can run across, that gate could quickly come back up. And even the slightest thing that comes up, it will make your person stop, right? Just the slightest gap. It's not going to run over, logically thinking it's like, oh, if it was an inch high, I'd be able to just step over it and I would still be able to run. That's not going to happen. That inch will actually stop you and your guy will start running into the wall. Now, with that, jumping over, you also want to try and throw a dive in there, right? So jump and dive gives you a jump forward, or gives you propulsion forward that lets you get through the gate a little bit faster. And then I guess the last tidbit, there is one exception to the entire thing, and it's that group of 4. So when the course splits into the 2, that group of 4 gates, you want to make sure that you go through the middle gates. And I don't care where you're at or anything. Like if you ever get pushed to one of the outside gates, backtrack and go through the middle gate. Come back, go through the middle gate, and go through the middle gate because it's faster. It's much, much faster. And so on the last slide, you want to jump dive across that thing. You want to do the jump mechanic, which is usually an X. As far as if you're on PS4, it's the X button and then the square button. You want to jump forward across that scenario. So anyway, I think those are more or less the tips and tricks that I can kind of give you. Like I said, this map is mostly time-based, as far as not necessarily time-based. It's timing the gates, right? You want to be able to time the gates, and obviously practice makes perfect on it. But most of the time, what I'm looking at is the gate is fully raised, so I'm running to it, that it drops, and as it drops, I'm able to jump through and get to the next set of gates. But I'm always kind of aiming at whatever is reaching its pinnacle as I'm running to it, so that it will drop, and then it will give me, I will be able to run through to the next one. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. I hope that gives you a couple of tips and tricks if you're having trouble with this course. I know that a lot of people have a lot of trouble with that last slime. I always just encourage, if the gate is at its fullest highest when you're starting to slide down, that's what you want to aim for. If it's not at its fullest highest, you want to try and pull back until you see it get to its full height. Then jump off the white line and use the dive technique as it starts to come down. You should be able to get that should be able to get you through most of the occurrences. If you have, just keep fighting. You're only going to be, if you're at the front of the pack, you're probably only going to get 2 jumps. If you're at the back of the pack, you're probably only going to get 1. So just try your hardest. Rooting for you guys. I hope you guys can get the win. Anyway, like I said, that's going to wrap it up. I do stream every single day on Twitch. If you guys have questions, want to talk about it, I am more than willing to talk about it. Even if I'm playing a different game, more than willing to talk about it, try and give you a little bit of heads up or whatever. If I am playing, I let people join in. So if you wanted to come in and play with me and try and get some real-time coaching, I'm more than happy to help assist you in that. Other than that, I think I'm done. So if you made it to this part of this video, give me a like, give me a sub. That'd be great. I really appreciate it. Anyway, Toodaloo until the next video. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.